I got a question from Sleepy Kiwi. Can you please give some advice to those who appear to have maxed out borrowing power with major banks? That's a really great question. There are actually 4 things you can do. So let's look at this. Major bank borrowing power is usually within this box. So this is where you're capped at. Now we're looking to expand the borders of your borrowing power to the outer limits. There are 3 things you can play around with. Number 1 is reduce the limits on your credit cards and overdrafts. To give you an example, I have a client that has a $30,000 credit card. It's made up of 3 credit cards, $10,000 each. Did you know that every $1,000 of credit card limit reduces about $10,000 to $20,000 of borrowing power from bank? So I've got a client to reduce their $30,000 combined credit limit to $15,000 credit card limit. That gave the client an extra $150,000 of home loan borrowing power. Now, a lot of you might be kicking and screaming saying, oh no, I need my credit cards, there's direct debits coming out of it, I need my overdrafts. But hey, you gotta compromise a bit. Next thing you can look at is Payout car loans and personal loans. Look, car loans are the worst. For example, a client that has a $150,000 Land Cruiser, he's paying about $2,500 per month in repayments. That seriously kills your borrowing capacity when it comes to expenses going out. Now, I know that you pay out your car loans or your personal loans, it will seriously deplete your deposit, which may be the 5%, 10% or 20% deposit you plan to use towards the property that you want to buy. So you got to really weigh up your options. Second option you can do is, if you're buying an investment property, maybe you can lower the interest only. What do I mean by that? For example, if you choose an interest only repayment style, it usually goes up to 5 years interest only. You can consider reducing that to a 4-year interest only, to 3, to 2, to 1, to even a principal interest repayment style for your investment property. By doing that, you might add up to $50,000 to $80,000 of extra borrowing if you do P&I on an investment property rather than interest only. Now, the third thing you can do is review your living expenses if it's over HEM. Now, what the hell is HEM? HEM is just an average living expenses benchmark that banks use to assess your living expenses. So if you're a couple earning $150,000 combined with 2 kids, HEM will be about $3,600. If your actual expenses are over HEM, for example, you guys spend $8,000 a month, I suggest you seriously cut back on your living expenses, set a budget, and live on that budget for 3 months. Then go back to the bank showing them your new lower living expenses. That generally should give you an extra $100,000 to $150,000 in borrowing power. Now, the fourth and final thing that you can do if that is still capping your limiting power is to go beyond the clouds and use non-banks. Non-banks such as these will probably give you an extra $300,000 of borrowing power. Hope that answers your question, Sleepy Kiwi.